Almost everybody uses money every single day of our lives. Yet, we never seem to question what money is, how it works, and how it maybe might work in another way. Isn't money, after all, just a tool? The Transformoney Tree is a project which questions the value of money. It was built at the Burning Man Festival in the Nevada desert, where money does not exist for an entire week. What happens when you turn money into art and then glue it onto a tree? Will it make you question the value of money? Will you start thinking about what money really is? What is it in our lives that really has value? Is it money? Or is it something else?
What I did was I took a piece of our wedding dress, my wedding dress. We were married 14 years ago yesterday. It was our anniversary. So yesterday I sewed this on here because I wanted something that had value to me that was attached to something which is inherently does not have any value.
As much as we try to draw on these and question the value of it, at the end of the day, it's still going to get me some gas to get where I'm going, or some water. So it's this relationship that you're kind of not necessarily into, but when it comes, I chose not to do this on a $20 bill.
While I was looking a few moments ago at the tree, I've seen some rather amazing denominations, including 100 euros. Oh my God.
As simple as that.
Of course, we don't know whether it's real currency or not. Is there a law against counterfeit dollars on a money tree? I don't know. Okay, so what would a counterfeit dollar be? If you worked for that counterfeit dollar and you gave it to somebody else and they did that same amount of work for you, then that counterfeit dollar would probably be just as good as a real one, wouldn't it?
Money is pretty awful stuff.
It's not really clear to me what money is. It's, obviously it's a means of exchange, but also money seems to represent work energy. It represents commodities. It represents assets, and yet in our culture, the way money is taking on these strange powers is really surreal. You can have communities of people who can work really hard, have lots of time and energy, but they have no money, so there's nothing gets done. They have the will, but they don't have the means to record their transactions.
Money is the promise of slavery. It used to be based in reality, like wheat and gold, and it used to be backed by some tangible object, and now there's nothing that a country has except for its people. So every debt is the promise of labor of a people enslaved by the dollar.
I give 99.5% of my time and effort toward gathering money for a purpose of having the 0.5% to express my true self. And I think that is enslavement. That is indebtment beyond the ability to repay it. Working for something that you can never achieve, because that little amount, you're not you for that other time. You assume a different identity so much that it's hard to forget that identity. It's hard to remember who you really are.
The value of money, to me, sometimes is just paper promises. Promising this, it's backed by, it's supposed to be backed by gold that they say is not there.
I feel like I'm married to money. I feel like if I water it, it will grow, and if I give it away, it should come back.
It's almost like a religion, right? You give of yourself, and money is a way to give of yourself.
I got to love myself enough to partake in this currency game to be here.
let's see. One thing I know that I've found out about money over the last few years is money seems to be a really good way to motivate people to do something that they don't want to do.
It is very useful for accomplishing things, and it's just sad that so many people focus so much just on the money value rather than the intention of what could be done.
There's things I do for money that I wouldn't do if it wasn't for money that I was getting at the end, And so in that way, money is kind of a controlling factor. You see people with strings, fishing reels, try to get people, bend over and trick people and get money. I think a lot of people hide behind money, and it's just oh, check it out, I got lots of money, I can do whatever I want. And really it's about developing, people value this more than they value an experience, but it still costs money to get the experience.
I've lived below the poverty line by a large margin for all of my life, and it seems like in my adult life it's become this overarching goal, because I've sort of unconsciously bought the party line, I guess, and just decided that if I can just have money, then I'll be happy, basically, which is in your head that's wrong, but it's just become this drive, and I'm really becoming aware of how it's actually just this currency, and it's this paper that it's gotten way out of balance, basically, and that's why I'm actually leaving my job in the financial industry, because I think it's empty.
When I was in college, I worked 2 jobs to put myself through college, and then I stressed myself out where I had to pencil in sleep and worry all the time if I was going to make it, if I was going to fall asleep at class. And then I ultimately achieved my degree, and I went out into the world, and I barely even use it. I use the social skills from the experiences, but the education itself, and it was something that was inflicted upon me that I didn't necessarily want to do, but felt, compelled that I needed a career and that I had to be part of the big picture and find a place. And wherever you are, that's just the place. That's where you're supposed to be. And money, the way that money forces you into trying to do things, and that people have to go and punch in on a clock and just grind the wheel and drive their car, these long commutes, and it's just destructive in so many ways. Destructive in so many ways.
Money's not going to enslave me. I'm going to learn how to master it instead of it mastering me. Because hoarding money is useless. If you don't use money and you don't give money to the people that you want to have this money and be able to use it for their cause, then what are you really doing? You got to support your own thought process and the people that agree with that and the people that you agree with. If you don't support what you are, then what are you doing? What's your real purpose here?
So for me, money, you remember those scenes in Star Trek, and they get off the Enterprise and they beam down to this planet. Well, they've got this universal communicator, each one of them. So even though they go to these places where they talk all these different languages, they instantly all sound like they're talking the same language. And we can hear them the same way because, coming through our box at home, the language is being translated for us as well. With money, it is also a language that we all speak.
Money represents, in one sense, time from our life spent taking things of the earth and converting that into something we can get money for. So earth, money, money, earth. And that's the money earth part now. So what I did is I went and obtained shredded U.S. currency, and I went to the city of Sunnyvale and obtained lawn clipping compost and mixed the two together, because we can compost money and thereby put it back into the earth and help restore in some way some of the fertility of the earth.
Instead of getting a roommate for an apartment or getting a smaller apartment, I decided to reduce my life 18 months ago to live in my car. And so now for 18 months I've been living in my car in Dallas, Texas. And I just move around every single night. I look at my calendar and I go, where do I want to be tomorrow morning? And I drive there at night, avoid all the traffic, wake up in the morning. I park outside the place that I want to be, and I wake up in the morning, and there I am.
Money, 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 money. To me, money and money along with gravity are humanity's biggest problems. If we can figure out transportation and how to get things other places without wasting billions of barrels of oil, and figure out money, how to function as a society without money, I think we might be on the right track. But until then, we're not going to be on the right track. And it's going to take a whole meltdown. But there might be a transformational way, perhaps with maybe, say, one country going currency free or something.
I've loved the fact that I've been able to reduce my life down to the few things that can, oh, by the way, the car that I'm doing this in is not a van, it's not an RV, it's not a station wagon, it's a Toyota Prius. And I have determined that 2 people less than 6 foot tall could live out of that ad infinitum. And I would like, if I had $1 billion, the dream that I would want is to be able to have scholarships for people to have Priuses, or actually a vehicle of their choice. Here's the vehicle of your choice, but you have to live out of it.
Oh, symmetric carpet! Take a picture.
On this planet at this time, people seem to view time, which is truly the most precious thing they have, as money. They view time as money, and that perception creates a lot of limitations in somebody's life. For example, if somebody were to view their time as art, then their whole life becomes their masterpiece, and it's now up to them to pursue their passions and pursue what they feel they need to do to create the art that is their life. And the truth of the matter is switching from that mindset actually will bring everything you need into your life. If that be money, whatever it is, it will come along with pursuing what you know to be true to yourself. So time equals art.
So what would be a gold mine at Burning Man? Would it be of any value? What could you do with gold? You could build stuff out of it. It makes nice jewelry. But other than that, it would be of no value whatsoever. If you had water, now that would be something that people would value. And so out here, maybe you get a much better picture of what things are really worth. Is the car of any value out here? Not really. I mean, where does it take you? To another part of the desert? That wouldn't be of much value, would it? Food, yeah, well, that's something that would... The most valuable thing you could possibly get out here would be real soil. Maybe if you dig down, you find it. But gold wouldn't be anything you'd want, would it? Even oil. What would you do with oil? Slip around it, make a slip and slide? Play with it? Well, good luck on that. But water? Yeah, water is the most valuable substance maybe in the whole universe.
We put too much sense of money. Money is just instrument, nothing more. But people put too much on money, and it's become so important for them, and they start to forgetting about most important value what we have like humans.
This tree is an example that you don't need money, because money is just one of those short time, what's the word? Happiness, short-time pleasure, instant gratification.
So I think money is a tool, right? I think you get no value out of it in itself. Right? You always, you work, whatever work is for different people, and you get money, which is just a tool to be able to exchange it for a moment of happiness, right? A way to share.
Well, one thing that I've found is a really wonderful currency, something that we all crave and need. Yeah, we need food, we need rest, but touch is amazing.
Money is anonymous. That's a choice. We choose that. We have dollar bills that I can give you a dollar bill. You have no idea where that money came from, what I did to get it. You know, it's completely detached from any history, any sense of story, any obligation, any duty, right? So we chose to make money that way. It was an option. We don't have to have anonymous money. If you look at projects like Where's George, it shows the movement of money as it passes through people's hands. And I find that interesting, to have a history, to attach a history to money.
Very lovely.
But you're going to keep your money?
If I had money put up there, I might consider it, but it would involve me actually having
Well, if you
bills.
do a trick, I'd give you money so you can give it to him.
What's that?
You do a trick,
If I do a trick?
I'd give you money.
What kind of a trick are we talking about here?
I have no clue. You figure out the
I
trick.
can,
I don't still understand what money is, but I would like us to start thinking about it. Like, maybe if we think about money differently and approach money differently, maybe we can start to tackle some of these bigger problems we're facing. Not by some sort of sudden shift in our psychic consciousness or group love, awareness of the planet, but by just our everyday actions, incorporating it into the fabric of how we transact with the world around us. And that's really the question I'm interested in answering. So this kind of project for me is fascinating because it starts to ask that question, and it makes people ask and think and challenge the assumptions that we have around money.
You can survive for a long time without food, but not very long without water. Probably a matter of days or hours even. So that's a medium of exchange, isn't it? Water and food. But the best medium of exchange is helping the other person in exchange for them helping you. And that's what that tree's about, right? We're investing in that tree